What's up guys, Miss Pass here, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes commentary video, and today I'm excited to bring you guys some actual BB-8 testing gameplay. That's right, we were able to get a 7-star BB-8 on our test accounts so that we could test him out in a large area of the game. Pretty much anywhere we could get access to, we tested him out. So I wanted to, first and foremost, test him out in territory battles. Territory battles is a place where I know that a lot of people are going to be wondering, okay, it's very light side heavy, so we already know that Resistance are one of the best squads for territory battles, so is BB-8 going to make a difference? And I can tell you this, I was thoroughly impressed with BB-8 in territory battles. I at first thought that he's going to be a little bit gimmicky, you know, maybe I might get his Illuminated Destiny off, I don't know, maybe twice in an entire 6-stage territory battle. But I can tell you guys, it happened way faster than I ever expected. That 70 turn cooldown really does not feel that long and in actual practice. This was in phase 5 of territory battles, which was today as I'm recording this video talking to you guys. I'm recording this a few days in advance of it actually coming out. So phase 5 of territory battles was today. This footage was recorded earlier this afternoon, and I can tell you guys, the whole time I was doing this, I was just waiting, because we all know that in territory battles, once you get to like stage 5, sometimes even stage 4, especially in phase 5, you start running into those turn loops where the enemy squad is just in an infinite loop of turns where they're just feeding each other turn meter and just wrecking your whole squad. And I can tell you right now that Finn is definitely going to be my next Zeta, because this was unreal. Like, I completely flipped the tables on territory battles. Resistance completely decimates territory battles. So if you guys do not have a Zeta on Finn, even if he is I literally just got Finn to 6 stars today. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind the power curve on that one. If you don't have a Zeta on Finn, just put the Zeta. Your next Zeta needs to be on Finn, because holy moly, guys. And this BB-8 footage is all without any Zetas. I did not put any Zetas on my BB-8 when I tested him. And I couldn't believe it. I think R2 got hit once, and that was on phase 5. Now, stepping back a little bit, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get gameplay recorded today, so this is all recorded yesterday, and this was phase 4, and it was the same story. It was insane. I mean, you look at all of my characters. They didn't even get touched in phase 4. Never mind, scratch that. I think, no, that's bonus. That's actually bonus protection. So I thought for a second there that R2 was missing some protection. Nope, he is completely untouched. It was insane, guys. I didn't even, like, that's where I got that quick snap image that I got for you guys that I teased on Twitter, was collected yesterday in phase 4 of territory battles. And I can tell you guys, like I said earlier, man, if you don't have a Zeta on Finn, go get it. Go do it. That needs to be your next priority, as it is mine, because I've got several Zetas out on a lot of characters, and Finn is not one of them, and unfortunately Finn isn't even 7 stars. I just hit 6 stars, like I said, and so Finn is definitely going to be my next Zeta. But I was able to actually test him out in the tank raid as well, and that footage is coming up right after this territory battle finishes up. And I can honestly tell you that having I don't really focus too much on raids. That's kind of McMull's thing. And honestly, I don't have a whole lot of free time during the middle of the day to really participate in a lot of raids, so unfortunately, I kind of don't get to take advantage of, you know, theory crafting and all of that. Plus, I guess you could say I've had the misfortune or the fortune. I don't know how to really put it, but the guilds I've been in knock out the raids way fast. Like, less than an hour to complete a heroic tank raid, which is absolutely bonkers. So I don't even know how I'm supposed to theory craft when the tank is only alive for an hour at a time. But at any rate, so we were able to launch a tank raid in this on our test account, on our test guild, and number one, I completely soloed Phase 1 with CLS and Han Solo, so Commander Luke Skywalker and Zeta Han Solo. Completely soloed Phase 1, absolutely nonsense. But it's nice to know that we can completely solo Phase 1 or Phase 2, for that matter, with Resistance now, with just the 5-6 people that we have in our guild, so that we can get testing done in all of the phases for you guys. So that's really awesome to know that, you know, we have the weapons in our arsenal so that we can really get this footage for you guys without really having to depend on the developers too much. Now, I will tell you that I did learn my lesson. R2 is not the best character for the tank raid. So if you're planning on using Resistance in Phase 2 of the tank raid, don't make the same mistake I did, complete tank noob over here, and use R2 instead of the Resistance pilot, because the Resistance pilot will score you a whole lot higher score than I scored in the tank. I, unfortunately, was only able to hit it until about right here where my entire squad dies. I hit the enrage timer and I had only done about 10, maybe 15% of the tanks, taking away 10 or 15% of the tank's health. I managed to score 2.8 million, which still is pretty good. Granted, I wasn't rocking complete Gear 12 Resistance. I tried not to. I tried to avoid that. R2 is a pretty common Gear 12, so I was like, I can take him to Gear 12. Won't make that big a difference. But I tried to keep most of the rest of my Resistance guys Gear 11, which BB-8 in my footage is Gear 11. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I have to get a BB-8 to Gear 12 for him to be good. No, you can still use him at Gear 11. A lot of characters are still very good at Gear 11. It does suck when you're fighting an entire Gear 12 arena squad, but then again, when it comes to arenas, as you can see from my gameplay here, Resistance is still able to hold their own. Now, I will tell you that for footage and time's sake, I didn't include every single time that I lost, which was more often than I would have liked to admit. So when it comes to arenas with Resistance, there are several factors that you have to take into account. Speed is first and foremost, and then enemy Han Solo is the other factor that you have to take into account. So why does the enemy Han Solo matter? Well, because if Poe gets stunned, that sucks, because you need Poe to really set the pace. And if your enemy, if pretty much anybody else on your squad gets stunned by the Han Solo, it's not that big of a deal. What you then have to worry about is having an enemy Thrawn that is faster than your Poe. Arnold actually gave me a little bit of trouble. It took me a while to beat his squad because he's running both a Han Solo and a Thrawn in his squad, and his Thrawn was 5 points higher in speed than my Poe. I could get my Poe faster, but I had to sacrifice nearly 25% potency, basically take my potency cross mod off of Poe and put on a tenacity mod that had a higher speed secondary. But that didn't really end up being very successful for me, because I'm telling you guys, you need Poe's potency, say that 5 times fast, up higher around 60% for him to be truly effective inside of arenas. I did see a lot of resists when I only had my Poe at 40-something% potency while he was at faster speeds, rather than having a potency cross with a slightly lower speed. Now, in this testing arena environment, there are extremely fast teams, and I can tell you right now that it's mostly because it is a test environment where people just had carte blanche, you know, tons of crystals to go out and just farm tons of heinous mods. Now, Resistance has one other very, very, very big weakness, as you can see from this gameplay here, and that is droids. Droids actually destroy Resistance on offense and on defense. It's absolutely sickening. Like, I never thought that droids would ever be good at anything, and apparently they're really good at mopping up resistance. Now, on the flip side of this coin, the droids are not, and I'm telling you this right now, the droids are not good against the meta defensively. Mobile Gamer is out there testing droids against the meta offensively, and he'll have that gameplay footage on his video, but I can tell you right now that when I swapped to a meta squad away from resistance, it was a massacre because of the crit hit immunity that General Kenobi provides. I didn't bother testing with like an Empire squad or anything because I really just wanted to test the, the meta, because that's what people want to see. They want to see, okay, is R2 any good against the meta? Is the meta good against, or sorry, BB-8. Is BB-8 good against the meta, or is the meta good against BB-8? And I can tell you with droids, I mean, look at that. It was unfortunate because I was really hoping that maybe droids would be good without a rework, but I can tell you right now that if the droids are not going to be the next faction reworked, I'm going to be very, very disappointed because there's so much potential there. So at any rate, going back to resistance, this was another squad that was actually pretty difficult for me because this guy is running really, really good speed mods, but it took, and this was one of those squads that I was telling you, if his Han Solo stunned the wrong guy, I had to restart the match because his speed and everything else just ended up being disastrous. Now you have to pretty much run R2 with BB-8 because number one, his crits actually help Illuminated Destiny a bunch because Illuminated Destiny's cooldown is reduced whenever a droid scores a critical hit, and whenever R2 throws out his AoE, if he gets 5 crits, that's 5 turn reduction on the Illuminated Destiny. Along with every time these exposes are taken, everybody's getting hit by an expose, that's Illuminated Destiny dropping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every time everybody's got that BB-8 buff, the secret intel, every time a turn is going, that's 5 turns. You can see every time BB-8's turn comes back around, it's like 6, 7 turns lower because of all of those stinking exposes getting knocking down cooldowns. I mean, there you go, Illuminated Destiny, that fast. I told you guys in the last video where we were doing the little kit reveal that I was very skeptical on whether Illuminated Destiny would ever come out in arenas because of how fast-paced arenas are, but I can tell you guys, time and time again, I don't think there was an arena where I didn't get Illuminated Destiny off unless BB-8 died. That was the only scenario in which BB-8 did not get Illuminated Destiny off, and I can tell you guys, it was insane. I was completely floored. So now this is a situation where I was talking about a faster Thrawn being the bane of resistance. So this was pretty much a lost cause. I had to just abandon that fight. I went in, tried again, and rather than using stealth right off the bat, I used R2's stun to stun Thrawn because I knew he was faster than me. So I get the stun off on Thrawn. Poe is left unfractured and is able to set the course in action where you're just melting faces via expose. And this is where I was telling you, it helps to have the potency on Poe helps out more than the speed in the long run because you're pretty much guaranteeing that you get that turn meter reduction off on the enemy squad. Now, you're looking here and look at how fast I got Illuminated Destiny off. 1 minute into the match and BB-8 is already rocking an Illuminated Destiny. It's insane, guys. And 28 down to 28 turns from 70 by the time BB-8 moves again. That's absolutely insane, guys. An ability that I thought would never go off in an arena is happening in the span of 2-3 turns. It's absolutely bonkers. Now, do I think BB-8 is absolutely meta-defining, that he's going to change the meta, that if you don't go and get him right now, that you're going to suddenly see a change in the meta? No, you're not, because Resistance are probably one of the worst squads on defense, so if anything, he'll help you with your arena climb if you have your Resistance geared, but he's not going to shape and reshape the meta. That's just not going to happen. That about does it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. And as always, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, check me out on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and as always, join my Discord server to continue the conversation, and we'll catch you guys later.